Welcome to today's stream, everyone. I thought I had pinworms for the last 2 weeks. I don't even know how to explain this. For the last 2 weeks, I've been freaking the hell out because my butthole keeps getting itchy at nighttime. If you don't know, the classical symptom of a pinworm is your butthole gets itchy at nighttime. The The interesting part is that nobody in my family has ever had it as a child, not even me. The weird part is that it would only be at nighttime until I recognized a couple of things that differed. But the entire time I was like, oh god, I think there are worms. Sometimes even after eating food and I would go to the washroom, you see like a white string instead of the feces, and you think, oh god, that's a worm. I realized it's a very common thing to mistake for worms. It's vegetables because of fibers. Turns out I don't think I have worms because when I don't overheat at night and I just let the cold air hit me, I realize that my asshole doesn't sweat and therefore all of that itchiness goes away. And I realize that it's just the same itch that I've always had in terms of like how cold it, or how hot it get and how sweaty I become. But I had simply misunderstood and believed that the worms had taken me over. So that's a nice update for all of you. I am worm free today, which is actually fascinating. I didn't think I would ever have to say that in my life, but here I am. Apparently, and this is something very interesting to learn. Worms are so common that many people tend to get worms across their entire lifetime, especially if you're a parent. I didn't know this. My sister has never had worms, so I don't even know how that would even happen. My brother has never had worms, and they both have a fair amount of kids. I don't know how many kids is too many and how little kids is too little, but a fair says it's like between 2 and 5, and you can probably figure out which one on the end that is. And it's interesting because you basically never hear about it. Like you never hear about the fact that worms can invade your body the way that I guess like any illness can. It's very odd to think about because all throughout life, right? You're told the various dangers of eating dirt and stuff like that, and they say, "Don't eat the dirt; it tastes bad." And then you're like, "Okay, what if I like to taste dirt?" And then they go, "Don't eat the dirt because it's gonna get you sick." But never really explain how. Apparently, there's worms everywhere around us. This is something that I'm aware of for dogs, but I didn't realize humans have that many parasites either. Nor did I realize that humans had that many still alive parasites. Because for parasites, and something that's interesting about parasites is, you would think we'd be able to get rid of them for the most part, if not entirely, through the power of modern science. Because the parasite is just a thing inside your body, and you can just use a medication and they all die and slip out of you. You would think that we'd be inoculated for it from the very beginning of our lifetimes to prevent any further issues. But apparently, that's not the case. In fact, in Canada, I only recently learned this. The over-the-counter version of one of the medications, I think it starts with M something, mebendazole, which only about 200 people in all of Canada need it, isn't legally licensed here. And so those 200 people need to request the government for a special order of those medications, which is a very fascinating thing to like learn. And it's fascinating too because it's like I never expected this to be such a major issue, nor for it to be such a recurring issue, nor for there to be so many different types of parasites that humans could encounter. Like I was like, holy shit, there's a lot of different parasites. This whole time, for instance, did you know? Have you ever seen a TV ad on TV that said something about Giardia? Apparently, that's a parasite of some kind. Like there's a Giardia worm, and I was like, oh, because you always see those ads of like going somewhere abroad. Be sure to take Giardia to keep yourself safe from Giardia. And I was like, maybe Giardia is like I don't know, like a hepatitis or like a meningitis or something. Like you drink the water and you get it. But apparently, no, it's like a worm. And I was like, oh shit. And apparently, I've not been doing that. So. Not that I go overseas very often, but when I did go overseas to visit my homeland and stuff, I don't remember going to the doctor and getting anything to deal with any worms. So, for all I know, I could be 90% worm. Like, there's a very good chance I have a brain worm in me. But I promise you, no matter how many worms there are inside of me, I will never swim in shit-infested waters. Nor will I seek power and fame and try to take over the world. Today, we have a fair number of fun things for you all. So, and I don't know how to explain for today's concept. It's going to be kind of a weird concept. One, there's no music. We're starting late today because Mondays are kind of like the shrine day of like, I got family things to do. But today of all days, it's not that busy because my family wanted to do something else and they all wanted to do something separately. So my brother is off fishing with his family. My parents are off. They're at like their work because old people, like, I don't know how to explain this, but my mom loves her work. But her work is also sort of like her own baby. So if that makes sense. Basically, she has 3 children. She has 4 children, and one of them is her business. So it's kind of hard for her to step away. So I'm basically available for this time, which is usually not going to happen moving forward. Usually, as you all know, Mondays are usually like a very hard day for me. It's also why my wife and I tend to do like a Monday to Thursday is our wife days because A, I like spending a long time with her. B, it coincides with everything else, and so it's like I get to spend all of my time with her anyways, so it's nice. But yeah. Instead, you're going to be getting a very interesting theme today that I sort of thought up last second that I'm trying to figure out when to do, but I was like, we might as well do it now. Today, it's going to be a day about surviving because I think all of us are trying our best to survive on a daily basis. For those of you who don't know what survival means, good. It means that you stayed away from the craze that was Minecraft because after Minecraft came out, it seemed like every single game became a Minecraft game. And a lot of the Minecraft style games didn't really pan out very well. Most of them died a very unceremonious death. But quite a few of them actually became something better than you could ever believe. At least as far as I can tell, these concepts have stayed very strong despite the tides of a hype dying down and have somehow been able to move past the hype and stay relevant within their own niches, to be fair, but still everything is a niche, and if you're relevant within your niche, then ultimately you're relevant. And so we're going to be playing some survival games that aren't Valheim, which is interesting because Valheim is a sort of fascinating game where that game survived the survival game hype die-off, if that makes sense. Which I was always surprised by because you wouldn't ever expect that from a game like Valheim, which has its own very niche combat systems, and just in general gameplay systems. But that game has had a surprisingly solid run within like the popular space, and I don't even think it was a timing thing because I during COVID it was all like Among Us, okay? So I think I just touched on something that people were really craving, which is a survival game that was more of a game than just survival, and that's sort of the problem with many survival games. So we're going to be exploring 2 entries into this, both of which I've had for a while. Well, one of which I've had for a very long while, but I never really got around to it. That my buddy and I are probably going to be playing on our own time. Which you can't see because it's hosted on his machine with his IP. And even then, I wouldn't like. I don't mix work and pleasure. Pleasure is kind of a weird way to say it, but you know what I mean. So survival games. We're gonna be doing some 2 of them today actually. One is called Voima, and the other is called Vintage Story. One of them is one of them really does look like Minecraft. It's almost strikingly. It's almost striking how much one looks like Minecraft. The other looks completely unlike Minecraft. Hello, chat. Hello, welcome. Did you go back into Dragon's Dogma recently? Have you changed your mind about the game? Or do you still feel like it's not your type of thing? Because I need to know whether or not to apologize to the server when I log in. I've actually been afraid to log in because they're going to point to the Sharding Scholar and they're going to say he's responsible. I'm also very sad because the Sharding Charlatan, the image of a Sharding Charlatan is genuinely funny to me. I'm very sad that you couldn't get that name. After we do these survival games, of which both of them, I mean, it's really the whole thing today is like, is there like another Minecraft out there that will become Minecraft? You're going to be finishing and going through the entirety of Lunacid Tears of the Moon. So I have a very long day today. I thought I had way less time. Usually, again, on these days, I have like no time. But this Monday in particular is a very different Monday, so I can just go and do whatever I want to do today. Which is great, because it means that I can just go ahead and play this one, weird spin-off Lunacid story game for as long as I want, and try to discover all the secrets and try to get through the entire game. Now, obviously, the game is still sort of that old style of game that has a whole bunch of weird technical things. And I spent some time configuring it from last time, but not that much more. So live, we'll be fixing and configuring various issues as we go. But I really wanted to finish that game because that game is sort of one of the most interesting games that I've played in terms of a series, but one of the most interesting concepts that I've seen because it's so reminiscent of the idea of somebody making a game within the Pico 8 or making like a real Game Boy game and saying, hey, enjoy this Game Boy game. In a modern day context, it's almost ludicrous because why would you do that to yourself? But that's sort of the point, right? It's this like beautiful technical exercise that then, is an attempt by somebody to express what they what they want to express in a medium that is altogether dead, which I think is also beautiful in its own way, given the context of the game and what the game story, at least within the main game, as well as like the other related-ish titles within the same mythos universe, have been trying to say this whole time, with the idea of these worlds being bridged together and these sort of lost formats and the mediums. However, I need to go make some coffee. My bad, I forgot to make some coffee. In the meantime, though, I have a video for you all. And this is probably the funniest video I've ever seen. The mod, late last night, because we all hang out within a group call, while I was eating, and we were watching her boyfriend and somebody else play League of Legends. I think it was Sweet Defecation. The mod sent me this video. And she didn't say anything. You haven't played it more, but you might still know how to get better weapons. Oh, shops. So there's a couple of shops. Did you go to Tell yet, the first town? Follow the red quests as much as you can, because the red quest will take you around to various towns. And there are shops all inside each town that will sell you different types of weapons. Oh, you know what? We'll go on a Dragon's Dogma online date tomorrow. The mod sent me this video. No context. Not even a single message. She didn't say anything. We're both in call, mind you. She has her like voice, right? She was cooking, but she had time to like send me this video because she sat down at her PC, and she just didn't say anything. And she just left, and then I opened the link, and I looked at the link, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I watched it, and I couldn't stop laughing. It was the strangest video I've ever seen in my life. And then I asked her where she got this, and she's like, "Yeah, I got this as an ad. Like ever since I started watching your videos, the ads started getting weirder and weirder." And I was like, "Oh, I don't get these anymore." So I was like, "Perfect. Like you can be the person to find the weird ads." And so I was like, "Hey, how about I pay you like 5 cents per weird ad that you find me?" And so every weird ad that you send. Yeah, sorry about that. My PC didn't go through its first BSOD of the day, apparently. It's random if it'll BSOD or not. I don't really know why it happens. My theory now is that it's no longer a power issue, nor is it like a hardware issue. My theory is it's a software issue. It never happens if I press the restart button on my PC. It happens when I press the shutdown button. And I know that Windows does some fuckery with keeping things around. And I have a feeling it's something with the graphics driver and the fact that the latest ones have been fairly buggy. But yeah, so this video that the mod sent me, she sent me this randomly. And she was like, "You have to like watch this." And she was like, she thought that I would enjoy this. Oh God, there's a green screen. Don't green screen this. And I was like, I don't know if I'll enjoy this, but just listen to it. It's the way that he says it. And the Red Guna gang brought the Rizzler to edge me. He's trying to enter from the backside. Come on. Yes, we made it to today. And she found this ad, and I was like, "How did you find this ad?" And ever since then, I just kept playing it. It was just so funny the entire night. So you get to listen to this while I go make some coffee. You found one shop, but it just had the same sword that you currently had. Yeah, so every shop has like a different selection. The first, I think, shop where you do get a better weapon is the town of Tell, which is just outside town, but you have to go past the giant Cyclops. Once you get there, then I think it makes sense. But the game is really structured, at least to me, in my mind, almost like your typical RPG, where the further out you go, the better items you will get, and also the more difficult the game becomes. Plus one acting. It's his intonation. It's the way that he says it, right? "Oh no. The Red Guna gang has brought the Rizzler to edge me." He sounds so disturbed. "And the Red Guna gang has brought the Rizzler to edge me." "And the Red Guna gang just brought the Rizzler to edge me." He's trying to enter from the backside. It's something about the way he goes up in pitch and down. He just has. It's like he starts to sing it out. Like, if you auto-tune his voice, it'd be so fucking funny. "The Rizzler, me." You think the 2x server is messing up with the experiences, even though you're at level 13, you do 0 damage to even level 10 mobs. No, it's regardless of whether it's a 2x EXP, it's because the game mechanics are really weird. So what I think is happening is that the game has the same mechanics as the base game, where defense and the damage that you deal is not based on level. The level incidentally gets you a better weapon, but it's entirely based on the stat number. But unlike other games where the defensive stat is a percentage value of like 5% less damage, 95% less damage, in this game it's a flat reduction. So if they have 100 defense, at least this was how it was within Dragon's Dogma 1. If they have 100 defense and you do 99 damage, you do 1 damage. If you have 101 damage and they have 100 defense, you do 1 damage. You just subtract whatever attack. You just subtract the defense number from the attack number, and that's how much damage you like do. So regardless of what level you are, I think you just always do 0 damage unless you have a good enough weapon. So I think the problem is that you probably it is messing with the experience, but in like a roundabout way. And really, what you should be doing is just following the like quest line and finding random shops. Because those random shops out in the field, like in like Tell and stuff, give you like the level 5 and the level 10 weapons. But also, if you see a Cyclops, it's not meant to be easy to fight. Like the mini bosses are meant to be hard. But yeah, we'll have to figure out how that goes. But I can't help you because the Red Guna gang has just brought the Rizzler to edge me. He's trying to enter the backside. Okay, just watch this as I make coffee. Sorry, BRB. Hey, Chad, I just had a great idea. So I have voice effects, right? But I'm kind of lazy to set it up onto another track because you kind of can't. But I can do it for the voice. So what if I just make it route through my voice? I can actually make it go through the effects. I think maybe I'm not sure. Because I wonder if I can actually do that, and maybe it'll sound funny. But is that possible? Can I make it sound funny with my various settings? Like, can I add like a warble to it or something? Let's see. System settings into left, right. I do have son of a gun! I didn't install it. Oh, I didn't install it. We can do in 6 out. No, I can't. Man, I was gonna apply like real time. Well, actually, technically, I can do it for anything. Like realistically. If I mute this for myself and then I listen to it from OBS, but then what is my monitoring track? Let me change the monitoring track really quick. Audio, monitoring device, default. Sure, I don't know what the default is, but sure, okay. Let's see if this messes up and if it causes like a giant blow up of your ears. Okay, it's not monitoring. Oh, oops, wrong one. Okay, it's okay, good. Okay, so now I can hear it. I can actually apply any VST effect to this. Is there? Because you could do so much with this as a concept, right? VST 2X plugin. Yeah, here we go. Where are all my plugins, dog? What happened to all my plugins? All my plugins died. Wow. What is invert polarity? Man, it sucks that there's like nothing that I can really do. Oh man, because this would be so much funnier if I could just like play with the sound a little, but. I think when I reformatted my PC, I lost everything that I usually would have in order to make it like an interesting experience. Because I lost it all, I don't have things like various VST plugins, nor do I have my usual setup to do VST plugins from Reaper. So it's going to be, you know what? Okay, well, this has to die now. This is, again, I have no clue how the mod found this. She just said that she's been getting these types of game ads constantly. And I kid you not, the reason why she sent this to me last night was because she said, and I quote, "I thought you would like this." And I was like, why? How little do you think of me? But also, how do you know me so well? Anyways, we're going to move on now. Because as funny as this is, we have to move on to the schedule today. Today's schedule is fairly packed. I'm thinking we go for 8 hours, but it really depends on how long it takes. If we don't finish Lunacy by today, we finish it by tomorrow, as well as do some Dragon's Dogma online tomorrow. Because I've been craving that game, and I only really play during stream time, because otherwise I spend time with my wife or programming. So we're going to try to get through as much as we can today. And the survival games usually always need at least like 2 or 3 hours to really see the entire reason why they exist. Because the raison d'etre of a survival game is very complex. And yes, I know my French is at the level of a 5-year-old. I know. Listen, in Canada, just because we learned French doesn't mean that you have to keep up with it. And because I didn't keep up with it. Oh god, I'm so gassy. Sorry, my French sucks. And we're going to see exactly why these survival games are so different and have been able to survive for this long. Also, I have a new video for you. I forgot that I had this. Watch this as I set the games up. I I need a break. I need like a very quick break to just think about what I just experienced and just sort of absorb what I've seen and to write down some thoughts about it because I feel like this man, I can't wait to just play around with that tool more and see exactly what I can make in it because I can do anything. Like any image, any sound, and I just need to think about the how to modify the behaviors and then it's all over for you. Like then it gets really cool, okay? In the meantime, I have no music for you. Well, nothing planned in terms of music, but I do have a list of songs that I enjoyed. So I do get to actually send you off with some song, not off, but like just to give you some space with some song for a bit, for you to just sit there and listen to as I'm gone, using the washroom and drinking my coffee slowly. Yeah, you chill on Slay the Spire, and suddenly it's later. Yep. Are you proud of me, Daddy? Never say this. Never say that again. You had Ascension 19 with all three of the kids. Damn, that's actually impressive. Ascension 20, good luck on that because for me, Ascension 20 is more of an exercise and patience than necessarily skill. Like at some like for Ascension 20, at least for me, I've never been able to actually get a consistent strategy going where I always like I feel like I always get confused on how you're able to consistently clear Ascension 20 no matter the seed of your run. Like maybe there's some strategy, but it feels like you're like you are going to suffer some level of RNG in order to be able to like do that aspect of the game without having to resort to like just straight up like mods and like cheating because it's like there's so much variability that you need a particular type of build to work. At 16 with the defect. Okay, that's also good. That's impossible. Lol, some encounters just kill you. Yeah, exactly. Like it feels like there's just too much variability there, but at the same time, you know, it's still fun. I'm gonna give you a random song that I didn't really prepare or anything. You just have to deal with the song because I just need some time for myself for a bit, just to drink some coffee and think about what it is that we just witnessed. Okay. This song is actually really, really good. I actually quite enjoy this song. What's interesting about this song is that this is sort of the classical style of hip hop mixed with like a melodical song where it's all a part of the same uh song, but they all come into but they all but there's like a discrete line between the hip hop section and like the non hip hop section. It's also one of the few songs that doesn't have a song only version. So you have to deal with the fact that it's just a music video that'll just play, and hopefully there's no weird music video elements to it. But even though it has that particular hard cut between the hip hop and like the rest of the song that I usually hate, it's still a very entertaining song that I really enjoy, and both parts sound really, really good. It's also fascinating to sort of hear the rapping because it's like a very particular style of rapping that I can't remember which side it's on. It's at the north or south, but it's fascinating to see how they eventually meld it together and how they sort of play along with the melody and sort of the pace of the song because they go. It's very, very fast compared to the backing beat. And the singing is, you know, very, very good. So please do enjoy the song. I'll be back in just a moment. I just need to recover after what we just played. The song is really good. Again, if you listen to the rapping portion especially, I was surprised at how well it blended together with the rest of the singing. Usually, again, when these songs do that hard seam between the various styles, you can feel jarring when it switches to the other style. But this one, the rapper did a very good job of flowing with the rest of the song. And the pace that felt like it sort of fit well with the singing portion and added like a nice contrast. And a lot of the rapping even had like a tonality to it that wasn't necessarily the tones of the word, right? Because it's, you know, it's a tonal language, but a lot of the tonality is ignored for the sake of the rapping. But that was actually the tone of the song. But it, in a way that was like harmonizing with it, and I was very impressed by that when I heard it. Again, the voice of the singer is fantastic. I really enjoy the way that the whole thing sounds. My favorite part of the whole song is really the snapping, using the snapping as almost like a very sort of soft drum beat. I thought that was fantastic for like the feel of the song, the vibe. If it was like a real drum, even if you play it very, very lightly, you can still tell that it's a drum. Whereas a snap makes it feel almost a little bit classier for some reason. It makes it feel much more like alluring, very, very classy, like you're in a bar or something, which is sort of the way that the song is sung also makes you feel like you're in like a very classy bar of some kind. It's a very fascinating sort of song. And you see it within the music video too. So, very solid stuff. We're going to move on to the final segment of today because I feel like my brain is a bit frazzled from that last one, but it's sort of good to be frazzled. This last segment is one that we tried last time that we couldn't really get through entirely because of various issues with getting the game to run. And that will not be that hasn't changed. Basically, you're still gonna see me try to suffer through this, and there may be some settings that I'm gonna have to do on my end to make it work again, and maybe even work even better. But I think it's worth it for something like this because again, this was something that I saw and that I wanted to try to actually go through and play, just to be able to, I guess, understand the mythos of the world of Lunacid that was made, right? And but also to try and appreciate the art and like the beauty that is behind this game because of how interesting it is. Obviously, because it's a very old game, it's going to be broken in many different ways, and we have to sort of deal with changing certain configuration file values. But I think from last time, I think my configuration values is still there. So let me check this. But if we do change it on the fly, it's sort of, in a way, it feels like that's a point that like it's a part of the art itself. So let's see if this works. Just know that if the stream dies, I will be back. It's just the way that this goes. Lunacid Tears of the Moon. I'm done for today. I'm gonna go now, everyone. To those of you who are going to be playing, whatchamacallit, Dragon's Dogma Online, I'm going to see you in a bit after. I need to go do some things, eat, stuff like that. Just take care of some stuff. As well, in about a week and a half, I'm going to need you, chat members, to help me beta test something. You will be beta testing it with me in the mod, and maybe a couple of other people, but it'll be some weird project that I've been working on, and I think it's safe to say that within a week and a half, it will be launched. Barring any other weird interruptions in between, but it seems like I'm on track for that. And hopefully, it's going to be like a weird thing that I've been thinking about for a while, that I've talked about on stream before, but I want you to see it when we get there. Thanks for watching, everyone. I don't know why any of you watch this, especially this particular segment, but it was fun. It was at least fun to check these things out. And I'm glad that we even found Voima, because I'm going to be playing around with Voima to some degree as well. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good night. And remember, be careful of the Rizzler. He's going to edge you.